So Skull and Bones has a pretty game-breaking problem, and it's not even the full launch day yet. So I wanted to make a video to make you aware of it if you are someone that is going to be playing this from the 16th, which is tomorrow. It's the 15th as I'm recording this, but also in the hopes that Ubisoft see this and allocate resources to fix this, because this is genuinely a catastrophic game-breaking issue. What you're seeing right here are AI rogue pirate ships attacking players directly outside St. Anne. St. Anne, if you didn't play the beta or if you don't know anything about this game, St. Anne is a pirate hideout. It's one of the safe zones in the game. It's equally the first safe zone that players will go to after leaving the tutorial area. What you're seeing here is a level 7 ship being attacked by some level 10s, a couple of level 5s. Here are some level 11s, 9s, 8s and 7 players in the harbour. The reason why this is happening is because as you progress through the game, you'll unlock a game mechanic called the Helm. You're about to see me lose about 3/4 of my health in one shot here, by the way, from this level 10 sharpshooter. But as you progress through the game, you'll unlock something called the Helm, which is kind of like a late game mechanic to kind of keep us playing and unlock pieces of it and all this kind of stuff. It's a very cool mechanic, very interesting. One of the fun aspects of it is that you'll take on delivery missions to deliver opium and ale that you craft in return for coin. Now, the thing that makes these delivery missions tricky is that you're not allowed to use fast travel, and equally, whenever you take them on, you will be attacked by these rogue ships that will spawn along your journey. Now, the thing is that these rogue ships will spawn equal or, relative to your ship level. There's 2 more just spawned. So if I'm a level 7, chances are the rogue ships that spawn will be like level 7 to 9, most likely. Probably about 7 to 8, actually. So that it's a bit more of a challenge. Now, the tricky thing here is that, as you saw in that harbour, we have everything from level 6s to level 11 ships. What has likely happened here, especially for those level 10s, is that potentially that level 11 player, that level 9 player, has called in a Helm delivery mission, at least one, by the way, because you can take on more than one at one time, which will then mean more ships spawn. But they've taken on some of these missions, and then they just haven't left, which means that those of us who have not taken on Helm missions in any way, shape or form, and are just trying to go about our day, are having to deal with these constantly respawning rogue AI ships, which are not at our level. So I'm able to do damage to the level 9s and the 5s. The level 10 can't do a thing to him. Very, very little damage I'm able to do. And he basically destroys me in one shot. 2 shots if I brace, because one of his cannonballs completely wipes out all of my defenses. This is completely ridiculous. I don't understand how this couldn't have come up as a problem during playtesting, during the open beta, during any of this. It genuinely baffles me how this is allowed to happen. This is something that needs fixed, because if it's not obvious, there we go. If you're a low-level player and you're just starting out in the game, some of us have been playing this for 3 days in the early access with the Premium Edition or with Ubisoft Plus. Equally, progress carries over from the open beta, so a lot of us will likely have access to the Helm missions and to these delivery missions as well. What's going to happen is that game worlds are just going to be densely populated with these AI rogue ships. The more that we take on these missions, and if you're a new player that is in a world with level 7 ships, with level 11 ships, there's going to be absolutely nothing you can do to protect yourself from these rogue ships, because they're spawning in areas that they naturally shouldn't be spawning in. These areas outside St. Anne, these ships should be like level 1 to 3, I think, maximum. These level 9 ships shouldn't be spawning anywhere near this safe zone, anywhere near St. Anne naturally. They're all over in the kind of higher level areas where those of us who are higher level ships will go to get different resources and all that kind of stuff. It's completely unfair for new players, and if it's not going to be fixed for launch day, but on launch day I can see this being a massively griefable problem, where if I wanted to just be an asshole, I'll call in a ton of these Helm missions, and delivery missions, spawn in all these rogue ships, and just completely watch the chaos as new players are completely decimated. I don't know if that's something that can be rectified with matchmaking or something, but I think long term this is something that needs to be looked at, because there were a number of us players who could not leave St. Anne, and we weren't low level ships, we were just getting completely destroyed by these level 10s. It's a serious issue. It's something that I think needs to be raised multiple times so that Ubisoft understand the gravity of this problem. I wanted to try and record some gameplay of it happening. This is actually it was way worse before I started recording, but I just wanted to get something on screen so that you could see this issue happening in real time. What doesn't help is that these rogue ships are they constantly respawn. If it was these 4 or 5s or the 10s or whatever and we destroy them and that was it would be relatively fine because we're whittling it down and we're creating a gap. But they're just constantly spawning as long as these players are still in St. Anne and docked and disembarked. It's not cool. I hope this is fixed. I don't see any simple solutions to this aside from the fact that the rogue ships will not spawn unless the players who take on the missions are a certain distance away from the hideouts and the havens, and they code it into the pathing for these rogue ships that they cannot get within a certain distance of these hideouts, or that they just don't attack anyone apart from the player that took on that mission. There's probably a ton of fixes. I'm not a coder. I'm not a game designer, so I know it's super easy for those of us on this side of the screen to be like, oh, this is a super easy fix, just do this. I know it's not as simple as that, but this is absolutely something that needs to be looked at because it is a game-breaking problem, and I hope it gets a fix. But yeah, I just wanted to put together this video so that ahead of the 16th, ahead of launch tomorrow, that those of you who are new players are aware of this. Just keep an eye out for it. The game is fantastic. I'm really enjoying the game. This is the first time I've come across something that I've been like, oh, this is a real issue that needs to be solved. Aside from that, it is fantastic. I've played, I think, maybe at least nearly 30 hours in the last 2 days. I'm really enjoying it, and I don't want the launch of this game. We've waited so long for this game to come out. I don't want something like this to be such a thorn in the side of the launch of what is a really fun pirate game. But yeah, folks, hope you found this helpful. Looking forward to seeing you all in the seas, and I'll see you soon.